Civilised Savage, why do I call myself that? So if anybody is familiar with Tao philosophy, and anybody knows about the idea of the yin and the yang, if you know about your light and your dark and your good and your bad, and having all of those things integrated as one soul being, that's effectively what the civilized and the savage is. I don't shy away from my enlightened side or my darkness side. I combine them both together, and that's why some of my work, you'll get some very enlightened stuff, and you will get some very toxic fuckery shit as well. So that's how that kind of works. So with that being said, again, it's a trilogy. I'll get into part one. Yeah, let's see if we can make it work. So, which one are you going to go for? Obviously part one. No, because when I was writing it, I mixed them around as to which one was part one. Okay, so this one actually, I won Poets Palace with this, so it was an event where, yeah, come on. Let's see if I can bring it to life. All right, so when we first met, I felt like a princess meeting her Prince Charming. When you left, my heart bled and I was left with footprints harming my memories. I thought I'd treasure these traces of you, but I don't. Love, remake it with you, I won't, not ever. So glad we're not together. I had to leave. I needed space to breathe. I needed a place to calm my mind and set myself at ease, to reconnect to me. Because you would constantly be getting onto me, making me feel like I was wrong, but nothing's wrong with me. So what was I waiting for? Why was I taking more? And more, and more, and more, and even more. Each day breaking me, steadily taking the very essence of who I am, my soul, away from me. And energetically, you be raping me. As and when you felt like it, you be taking me at your will, to have your fill, pleasuring yourself until you were done, while I'm left numb. No feeling, mentally reeling, you'd hear silence, but inside I'm screaming. It got to a point I was like, I've had enough. This isn't love. So I beg, miss me with your compliments, miss me with your apologies, your compliments and attempts to be flattering. Because even if we bust 100 nuts back, I'd never come again. I'm not trying to go back to reliving all of your projections, to the eggshell walking for your ego's protection. Each time we get into it, you try to draw me out so you can interject and say, see, it's not me. Look at the way that she behaves, because that's how you begin to play victim. Got your own mind tricked into believing yourself to be righteous, when really you might just be so unaware of your trauma and all the many parts of it that you go as far as to gaslight me into believing that I was the narcissist. But in hindsight, that was just your Oscar-winning ability to flip the characters and switch the scenes, always so very calculated. You always knew just how to make it seem like you were the victim and I was the villain, quick to smear my name to anyone who'd listen. Going as far to make claims that I was abusive. Now I'm baffled, like how could you choose this course of action when deep down inside of your heart and your mind you know what the truth is? Because the truth has always been me. Just was something that you wouldn't see. Because you were blinded by all of your darkness, your demons, your shadows and toxicity. But guess what? I've set myself free. And so now I'm no longer focused on escaping. My immune system's regulating. There's no longer parts of me waiting to be seen or embraced. I can finally place all of the fragments of me back together again. And albeit slowly, I can begin to mend. I can now say I'm genuinely satisfied. There's no more faking O's or those other areas of intimacy, because now it's into me, see. I can now start intuitively retracing, erasing, replacing the you, and embracing the new, me. Today, I'm so confident in where I stand. I've readjusted my crown with both hands, and though you tried to make me forget, I now remember exactly who the fuck I am. So yeah, if you guys couldn't couldn't tell that was about a really shit relationship if it wasn't evident. So I wrote that piece about that situation. And the next piece I'm going to do is kind of like, I think it's called transition. I think that's what I want to call it, because that was kind of like after the situation happened and I was kind of moving out of that into like a different space. So this one, part 2, is called transition. I think it's time I tell thee thy fate, because what we had has now passed its sell-by date. My heart and head have long conspired to conclude that a love once fresh has now expired. I'll admit, I no longer love you like I did. We'll never be married, we'll never have kids. And while I let go, release, no more holding on tightly, there's more room for trusting my inner wisdom, the intuition inside me that guides me, reminds me that I've always had vision despite your many attempts to blind me. Because although love was what you called it, that was just a label, another way to say all of the following: manipulation, gaslighting, lack of contrition, dishonesty, and that's both blatant lies and lies by omission, resentment, jealousy, even control. Let's not forget the name calling and remember the low self-esteem, consistent ways to belittle, demean, all in an attempt to devalue the queen. But you see, my crown isn't of silver or gold. It's not encrusted in precious stones. This crown is Sahasrara, open chakra. That's what coronates my dome. You see, my medication was meditation, which led to the creation and activation of this version of me. And though still mere mortal, through spirit, I can now access the portal that gives me mind to respond to the call to connect to the divine, the universe, the source, the most high. And it was from navigating these higher planes, it became clear that I can't remain around energy vampires and low vibration, and instead I might need to explore some soul masturbation. Now that's the practice and pursuit of pleasure in me, because I am the source of all my needs. And although one time I found satisfaction in you, ain't nobody ever gonna do me like I do. Woo!